So, the sermon today is not your usual sermon. Today we have a performing artist by the name of Dianna David, and her work has been seen all around the world through her TEDx talk, her life performance coaching, and what she calls movement storytelling, using her strengths as a movement artist and motivational speaker to connect to all ages, stages, and phases of human behavior, empowerment, and social evolution through the journey of self-love and acceptance. We're privileged to have her present a piece that she wrote after her deepest sense of grief and loss, when everything in her life literally shattered into pieces. It was at this point she had to ask the burning question, what is this life for? After her performance, we're going to have a special talk back with Dianna. So it's going to be a very unique morning that we share together. Let's put our hands together for Dianna David.
Hi, good afternoon. Morning. I originally said I wasn't going to say anything, but I just wanted to see all of you before I entered. And I just wanted to dedicate it to your hearts. So here we go. So, grief births creativity, huh? Even in my hiding, there was still searching. There's so much seeing beyond believing. So when I tunneled into myself, there were things I thought would be daffodils and roses. But I was faced with demons instead of muses. In search of this self-love, I finally accepted it wasn't out there. But I guess it wasn't here. But that still didn't make sense to me. For these past weeks, I had to stare down with my ego. My thoughts that held me safe every day, sculpting the boundaries to create such identities in my reality to sustain my belief in me. As this earthquake began, my internal self sat stunned, shocked, as this earthquake took down my walls. The purposes defining my every move, every day, now erased, now nothing to chase. Bare, cold, dead in my head. There was nothing left to make sense of. I was completely dead. Stripped down, raped, massacred, torn, fleshed, cursing blood in my chest. What is this? My pieces left scattered, lifeless on the floor. I was naked. Down to the core. Throbbing, pulsating heartbeats from all the work done. My hand releases, and I drop down my gun. It was over. What else was left to expose? I was bare down to my bone. What is this life for? What should I live for? Why am I staying? I don't want to know what's in store. This pain hurts too much to want more. Is it worth it? I don't want to go through another door. You don't have to, a voice said. You don't have to anymore. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to hide. There's no more searching. You have arrived. My eyes went blind, and I sank into the center of my heart. Indescribable to my sight. I felt it all from inside. I was still alive. I was here and there and everywhere, emanating and radiating and filling all the spaces in between. What was this feeling, I asked. My higher self said, "Be quiet, or it will pass." Startled, I popped back into silence, so I didn't ask. Suspended in silence, the warmth wrapped me immediately in this stillness. Slowly, I became present and witnessed this radiance. The beams channeled from all directions, too much to comprehend. I didn't think. I just had to allow it. It filled me, completed me, balanced me, centered, stripped me, cleansed me, spun me dry for the making. Who am I? What is this? I asked. The silence lasts longer. So I waited until eternity passed. Finally it came to me, but this time I didn't ask. This is love, the inner voice said. This is what you are made of. There is no self out there that will ever tell you it's just like this. It will never be the same. It comes only when you listen. I appear in the cloak of their stare, the beat of their fist. I appear in the slash of their blade and the insecurity of their kiss. You will see me when you listen. I am always here. I'll never go away. It's in your growing you get to know me more every day. You finally came to meet me. I've been long awaiting. There was no one else who could have known where I was truly hiding. You see, it took your tenderness to get here, your kindness to lead your way, your gentle adoration, and feeling your way down the path I had laid. You loved me enough to listen. You loved me enough to stay. You loved me enough to find me and even endure the pain. I adore you so much. There's no one else that compares. You are the most magnificent beauty. My eyes can't stop but stare. Stunned at your radiance, in awe by your presence. There's nothing that encapsulates you. You are ever present. This is what you are made of. Everything you've always been. You have arrived. This is life behind your skin. My eyes opened wide, and I became alive. No thoughts came. The inner world became the outer world. I stopped thinking. I just paid witness. No more reaching. No more forcing or striving. I was ever present. Enter a figure. I smiled and said, "Hello." I knew them from somewhere. They had that same inner glow. "Nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you again," they said. "Huh?" I asked. "Stop playing dumb," she said. It's true. This innocence was good, because more around me they stood, coming from all directions. Their faces looked like yours. I was surrounded by the feeling of source.
We'll now have a chance to speak with Dianna and facilitate a little bit of dialogue. And I hope that you will share what's on your heart as she has shared with us this morning. We are moving forward. We don't know what to expect. Who we will bring into our community next, we have no idea. Who will be the next leaders, and how we will arrive with them and meet them and grow with them. We can only expect the unexpected and look for the joy and look for the love that will show up.
The unexpected.
I like to say the word aloha. Do you know the meaning of aloha? Some? Ha is the breath of life. Aloha is to recognize the breath of life in the other. And only when you say it is when you see it, and you see it and when you say it. We are gifted with life, each and every moment. And for me, I choose a very meaningful life, like Lindsay said. When you choose and you use the power of choice, we get to walk into every moment as a creation. And even when grief is involved, it brings us to that moment when you're at your potential, the center of your heart. To me, I call it the red ball. And that potential explodes when we arrive. And each and every one of us has a red ball. And to me, it's the red ball movement. It's the journey to and from. But the craziest thing, it's not A to B. It's A to B. And that is a choice. Moment for moment. That's how I practice. And that's why I get to walk my practice, and I move through my practice. And I journey through the grief of my practice, and I walk into what I find nourishment to continue on with my practice. And to me, that brings me joy. So I would love to hear from anyone out here, what do they do to practice joy in their life? Was there anything in this performance, visually, audibly, sensorially, that evoked that reminder? I'm going to say reminder, because we already know. So if that voice is coming out right now, I'd love anybody to share what moved you, what moves you to bring you joy in your life. I had a really big conversation with my grade 9 niece yesterday, and she's going for confirmation, and she goes, "Auntie, what's God?" And I said, let me see. I'm all about acronyms. And I said, it's gathering our divinity. And my purpose is to gather and join all the red balls in the world. And when you talked about creativity, I just graduated from expressive arts therapy, and one of the most beautiful things they said is the healing is in the work of art and the art making. And when I put that together with the idea of God, I said, creativity is like not a noun, it's a movement, it's a creative spirit, AKA the Holy Spirit in your terms, and it goes through you when you get out of the way. And you become the vessel. And when we can witness that vessel or that creative spirit go through us and through our red ball, it expresses our unique expression in the world. Each and everyone's unique expression. And from that, where did that creative spirit come from? The Creator. Whoa. That, my dear, is God. And then we all return back to one. On my first weekend of expressive arts therapy, they did movement. I'm like, I got this. Then my teacher said, forget everything. Fine. Then we started moving, and there was this time when all these two other people were all of a sudden moving me, and I wasn't supposed to do anything, and they had me up in the air. I was in tears, crying and crying of this element of surprise that I never knew I would be taken to. And then the word beauty just kept running in my mind, a state of awe. And then my partners laid me down onto the ground, and my beautiful teacher with the long silver-tipped hair held my head and looked me in the eye and said, "Wasn't that beautiful?" Speechless. I almost said, "You took the words right out of my mouth." And that is the healing. Can we all take a deep breath in, and on our exhale, can we all say, "Oh." Yeah, that's a good try. Let's try it one more time together. And actually feel a vibration in your voice and say it with that feeling of what beauty can like take you there. Ready? Take a deep breath in. My singing teacher always said, "Bless the sound." Bless everything around you. We are blessed. Thank you to your hearts for being ever present today. Thank you for making moves to take your steps to gather in our divinity today. Thank your faith to keep believing it's beyond the struggle. And thank your inner child to always keep playing. P-L-A-Y. Practice learning about yourself. Thank you so much for having me.